We are now going to work on question 3 of the project, and that was the one about the number of t-shirts that people own. So open your spreadsheet file, same Excel file that you've been working with all along for this project. Go to the data spreadsheet page, so that's the page with all the survey responses, and we're going to be working on question 3 here, which is a bunch of numbers. So we're going to ask Excel to calculate things like the mean and the mode and the standard deviation and so forth of that set of numbers. Now, at the top here, if you click on data, look over here to see if you have the data analysis tool pack already installed on the computer you're using. So if it's there, you should see the words data analysis over here. If it's not there, if you can't find that, then you're going to have to install the data analysis tool pack before you do anything else. The last page of the instructions tells you how to do that. I've also got a separate video where I show that. So right now, I'm assuming you got that installed. If you don't have it installed yet, that's the first thing you need to do. So once you have that data analysis tool pack installed, we're just going to click on that, and a box pops up, and you should see the words descriptive statistics highlighted. If they're not highlighted, find them and click on them, and then click where it says OK. And a new box pops up, and the cursor should be in this little white box up here. So while it's there, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to select all of the numerical responses to question 3. So I'm going to click in this first response to question 3 and cell D3, and then go down and select all of the rest of the numbers in that column. So now notice up here in this little box it says D3 through D77 with some dollar signs in there. So I've selected the cells that contain my numerical data that I want the analysis done on. And now click the box next to Summary Statistics, and then click where it says OK. So a new page opens in your Excel file. First, I'm going to widen column A so that I can see all the words here. So I set my cursor up here at the top between A and B, and now I'm clicking the button and dragging to the right far enough over so the words like standard deviation are completely visible. Now, it gave me a bunch of things, and we don't really want all of these things, just some of them. So next thing I'm going to do is delete the things that we don't want. So first I'm going to delete this blank line in row 2. So over here on the 2, I'm going to right click on the 2 and select delete. And that just deletes that whole row. I'm also going to delete the row that says standard error. Right now that's row 3. So I'm going to right click on the 3 and select delete. I'm also going to delete the sample variance, but before I do that, you might want to look and notice we've got a standard deviation and we've got a sample variance, and if you started with the number for the standard deviation and squared that number, you would get the variance. Or if you started with the variance and took the square root of that, you'd get the standard deviation. So I want to check that on a calculator to see if that really does work, but we don't really need both of those, so we're going to delete where it says sample variance, get rid of that row, get rid of the kurtosis row and the skewness row, and the range. Keep the minimum and maximum, but delete the sum and the count. The count should be 75, but we don't need to see that. So what we do have here is the mean, the median, the mode, the standard deviation, the minimum, and the maximum. Those 6 things. We want the mean and the standard deviation to only show 1 digit after the decimal point. So I'm going to click on this number for the mean, and then go up here and click on Home to get to the Home tab. And this button right here is to decrease decimal, show fewer decimal places. So each time I click on that button, it reduces the number of decimal places that are displayed. So I'm going to click it enough times so that it only shows 1 digit after the decimal point. So now the mean is displayed just to the nearest tenth. For me, it's 10.8. For you, it might be a different number, but it should be a number with just 1 digit after the decimal point. And I'm going to do the same thing for the standard deviation. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to go up here and decrease decimal, click that enough times so that there's only 1 digit showing after the decimal point, so that the mean and the standard deviation are showing to just the nearest tenth. Now I'm going to go up here and change the heading. First, I'm going to click in A1 and drag over to B1 so that I've selected both of those cells, and I'm going to go up here and click where it says Merge and Center. So I've just merged those 2 cells into one big wide one. And I'm going to change it to, instead of just saying column 1, it says number of shirts. So if I double click in that, delete where it says column 1 and type in number of shirts. Notice I capitalized number and shirts. And let me color that. So click on that. Let's make it bold. Doesn't really need to be italic, but change it to bold. And now I'll go up here and change the background to some light color. You could use light blue, light orange, light yellow. If you don't like any of these colors, you can go to more colors and find one that you like. Make sure it's light enough that you can easily read the words. Maybe that's a little too dark. How about that? So whatever color looks good to you, that's that. So now we're going to add the borders and center the columns. So select the whole table. Make sure everything is centered. So click the center buttons until all the elements here are centered in their cells. And go up here and select all borders. And the only thing left to do is go down here and rename this particular sheet so that it says number of shirts. That way when we come back to the Excel file, we can easily see which page or sheet is which thing. So now save your work and go into Canvas and submit it. Go to question 3, data analysis table. Start assignment, choose file, remember where you have your file saved, and submit assignment. We are done.